and welcome again to our 6th edition of Excelsior. We're excited about you joining us again on today. We're continuing our conversation about educational leadership. At our company, we focus on enhancing excellence in education. So today we're going to talk about the challenges that principals have regarding their school vision. As a principal, it's really important as you fashion and form your vision that you ask yourself two questions. Remember our conversation from the other day, we talked about the kinds of problems that principals have. They're either adaptive or technical. Technical problems deal with policies and procedures. Adaptive deal with more personal norms. Well, in forming your vision and fashioning your vision, there are two things that principals have to keep in mind. And though those things deal with data and deal with the needs of the school, there are two questions that I think a leader should ask his or herself as they fashion and form the vision for the school. The first one deals with risk factors. You need to ask yourself as a principal, what risk am I willing to take to make my school successful? Let me say it again. As a principal, you need to ask yourself, what risk am I willing to take as a leader to make my school successful? I normally ask myself two questions, and they are, what goals and challenges are worth taking on the pains and risk of leadership? Let me say that again. The first question that I ask myself as a building level principal is, what goals and challenges are worth taking on the pains and risk of leadership? Leadership comes with risk, and as we move teachers, faculty, and staff past their comfort zone, there are challenges that happen every time, which goes back into our two types of problems. You need to know that as they challenge you, they aren't challenging you as a person. They're challenging their place in their comfort zone. And the problems may show up in different kinds of ways, but there are only two kinds of problems, technical or adaptive. The second question I ask myself as a leader is, what ideas do I care deeply enough about to initiate those delicate and critical, tough conversations? Let me say that again. As a leader, as I fashion my vision, I have to ask myself, what ideas or ideals do I care deeply enough about to initiate those delicate and critical, tough conversations? As we form our vision, it's really important that your vision translates into the school goals. Your school goals translates into the teacher's student learning targets. The student learning targets translate into lesson plans, and it happens every day. That has to come with tough conversations. Again, going back to change. Most of us don't want to deal with change, but we have to do the right things for boys and girls all the time. As school-based people, our most important job is to increase student achievement. In order to increase student achievement, you have to focus on the things that is in the best interest of students and not necessarily what's in the best interest of our comfort zones. So as a school leader, I have to focus on having those delicate conversations with teachers that makes them think past where they are to go where they have to be to challenge the boys and girls. So going back to that, another thing we have to look at is data. And as we look at data, you have to ask yourself, what kind of data will you collect? You have to ask yourself, do my teachers know how to interpret data? The third question that you have to ask yourself is, how will my teachers use the data? And what's the next step that they will take when they get the data? There are four kinds of data that we talked about previously: academic data, background data, perception data, and demographic data. Teachers very often get befuddled with the different kinds of data. So I have my teachers focus on academic data and background data. That gives them information about where the student is and where they have to go. So in our next edition of Excelsior, we will talk about how to use data, and as a leader, how to coach your teachers to use data to improve student achievement. Until then, have a great day. Excelsior.